Eurovision Song Contest is my favorite time of the year. Christmas? Pfft. In case you haven't heard yet, Eurovision Song Contest has been held every year in May since 1956, except for 2020 for obvious reasons. Its intention was originally to mend back Europe torn by wars. 5 countries that started the thing, aka the Big Five, aka Italy, France, Germany, Spain and UK, are getting a ticket straight to the final to this day. Over the years, Eurovision has given us such gems as ABBA, Måneskin, Lordi, and every year there are about 40 countries participating. Now Australia is in the run as well, and China was considered once or twice too. Don't get me wrong, I really do love Eurovision. And I am from Poland, a country with rich history of 0 Eurovision wins and songs mostly chosen by questionable means. But I love the kitsch. I love the glamour. I love the love and peace. Honestly, can we take a minute to appreciate this masterpiece of a gem? If you still don't know what Eurovision is about, Mans and Petra can explain it to you way better than I ever will. What I'm trying to say is Eurovision holds a special place in my heart. But there will be a fair share of roasting here. So one of the best things about Eurovision is that you can watch it online for free. They are streaming on YouTube every year, and you can watch all of the past contents on YouTube as well. But it's way better, in my humble opinion, to watch it with a commentator from your country. Ordinarily, that would take place on your national TV. Except for Poland, ever since our current government took over TV and took a huge dump over everything that I know and love. Anyway, if you can have somebody from your country explain to you what's going on the screen, maybe explain the meaning of the song and put it in context of your culture, then this is a priceless experience. So in order to show it on your national TV, you have to acquire the rights. And that means you have to pay. And nowadays, more and more countries are quitting the competition due to increasing fees, but back to the topic. This brings us to Eurovision 2014 in Denmark. Beautiful contest that gave us Conchita Wurst, and I will be forever grateful for that. Even though people were aware of the competition before, this was a big deal. Not in China because it's 3 AM when it airs there, but in Denmark for sure. Boy oh boy. So the official languages of Eurovision are English and French. Every year you have at least one host speaking French on live TV, which is making me sweat right now, just the thought of it. Because French is a very hard language to learn if you are not a native speaker. It has a lot of difficult sounds and letters that you don't read. Anyway, that year there was also a commentator speaking Chinese? Question mark? I would love to meet a person who thought it was a good idea.
You're right, that was Chinese. We also want to thank you for all the fun jokes you made, especially the ones you made on my behalf. Graham, Google it, baby.
Yeah, I'm still not getting that Chinese thing. I'm trying my hardest.
Emily de Forest, the winner of last year's Eurovision Song Contest.
Just a quick fun fact. In China, they call Emily de Forest for Xiao Ho Deer, which means little butterfly.
They don't call her that. That's not a quick fun fact.
But this isn't even the weirdest part. Somebody thought it would be a great idea for this commentator, whose name is Pilot Asbeck, and you might know him from the Game of Thrones, to throw in some random facts about China and actually explain China to Europe, which is not a bad idea per se. It's much better than explaining Europe to China. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they weren't even counting on people in China watching this thing. Because it is 3 AM. Because then they do this. They roll in with a song which would be quite nice and catchy if it wasn't so damn offensive. So this song is meant to explain the meaning of the number 12 in the context of the competition, which is great. Might be confusing if you're watching for the first time. But then they start throwing in some random facts about China. For example, the Chinese calendar having 13 months instead of 12 sometimes. which is actually true, but you could totally stick to number 12 if you wanted to. Like, there are 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac, or 12 earthly branches, but good luck explaining that. More than a billion who speak Mandarin? That tracks. Ping pong? Okay, a bit surface level, but fine. Stir fry, dim sum, the Great Wall, fantastic. And then opium. This song is a bit over 3 minutes long. And you couldn't go 3 minutes without mentioning a single worst thing that Europe has ever done to China. Oh, there is more. So then they decided to dress up Mr. Pillow in this fancy getup that looks like they got it at a dollar store. Nobody is walking around the streets dressed like that. Nowadays, if Chinese people want to feel more connected to their culture, they would dress up in hanfu. But that's not a shallow, stereotypical picture, so why bother? But then, he also happens to be holding a picture of Ban Ki-moon, because there was a moon in the song. I mean, what the hell? If this isn't racist, I don't know what is. Okay, if you had one lesson of Chinese in your entire life and all you can say is ni hao, then you already know that Ban Ki-moon is not a Chinese name. Not to mention, he's a pretty famous person. I don't think there is a room for mistake here. So then you actually have this other commentator, Nikolai Koppel, come up and explain that Ban Ki-moon is Korean. That's it. No harm done, right? I was trying to check if anybody has ever apologized for any of it, but it appears that nobody ever has. And it's still on the internet for everybody to enjoy. Well, I will link it below so you can watch it and form your own opinion. But honestly, this is why you need localization, people. I can't believe somebody cleared it for live TV at some point, for all the Europe and China to see. So there you have it, the welcome party for China in the Eurovision Song Contest sure was a flaming dumpster of a party. You might be asking yourself, has anybody actually been offended by this? And it would appear that not really. In daily life, Chinese people strike me as very hard to offend. And with a quick Baidu search, I found some articles from 2014, because you know, the internet is forever, where it would seem that the Chinese audiences were somewhat pleased to see some of the aspects of their culture being explained to Europe. But it's also mentioned that it's kind of missing the point, and if anything, it was an attempt to sell it better to them. So that's pretty much it. And then you could watch Eurovision through official channels for another 4 years. So it kind of blew over, I guess. But still, let's not use it as a means to normalize racism, okay?